Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of May 14th. As always, we will get started with the Mythic Plus affixes for this week. This week we have Fortified, Afflicted, and Raging. Again, that's Fortified, Afflicted, and Raging. Going to be a little bit hard for pugs here. You got the Raging, so it's going to affect all the big pulls, especially that you do. And of course, you have Afflicted that you have to take care of. You know, again, just like in Corporal, it's not that it's hard, it's just that randomly it just doesn't get done for some reason. I actually did not time any keys or anything like that this past week with the Incorporeal. However, you know, one dungeon in particular stood out to me. Was a dungeon was going completely fine, and it was. We timed it and everything was fine. But whenever there was two, I would do the one in the melee. Sometimes the monk would do the one in the melee, and the mage would do the one at ranged. Every single time throughout the dungeon. And then like 2 times towards the end of the dungeon, the mage just decided not to do it. And so, you know, you go through the course of an entire dungeon with it being done. You kind of expect it to be done. And it went off twice. It didn't cause a wipe. It didn't cause any issues. It wasn't a big deal. But, you know, it's just one of those things where it's going to go off in pugs. Same thing with Afflicted, right? And that's what we talk about every time they come up, is that they just have a little bit more impact than the other fixes because pug life, right? That's just all there is to it. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to talk about what's going on in game this week. This week we do have one big thing, and we will talk about that last, as it is the biggest thing. We have the pet battle bonus event this week. Now, I don't mention this too much, but I actually saw a bit of a joke, but I think the joke maybe should have been, or was a bit more true than maybe the Joker intended it to be. And that was that just how in this previous week we got 2 Bullion from doing Mythic Dungeons, why not get Bullion from doing Pet Battle bonus event? Now, this may sound silly, but my theory on this would be that, or my thought on this would be that this is the Awakened season, you know, the Fated season. It's supposed to be for fun anyways. Why are we locking the Bullions behind, you know, even mildly hard content? Why not let everybody get them? Why not let, you know, and not let me be clear, not everybody can do the pet battle stuff because they don't have pets to battle, or they're not leveled up, or they're whatever, they don't have the right combinations. But, you know, just in general, anybody can look up a guide and probably do the pet battle stuff. And why not have Bullion from that? That's just something I think, especially, I think there's enough stuff already gated behind hard content in the game to where why not let everybody experience the Bullion, right? Like, everybody should just have the Bullion. It should just be automatic, in my opinion. Maybe I'm alone on that, but I think it should just be for fun. The PvP brawl this week is Arethi Blizzard. Not much to say on PvP brawls, but Arethi Blizzard is one of the better ones. You know, it's kind of favorable for melee in a lot of ways because it's visibility being low, and you can kind of sneak up on people and stuff like that, and not get hit from max range a lot of times. So out of any of them, I kind of like this one. The time walking this week is going to be Wrath of the Lich King. It's one of the more popular time walkings to do. I believe time walking counts as heroic dungeons now, so for your like great vault loot and stuff like that. So you can take part in that, do the event. You know, you can do all the stuff that comes with the time walking as well, right? And so that's going to be this week. However, similar to time walking but different, the highlight of this week is going to be the WoW remix, Mists of Pandaria, which I guess is what they settled on for the name for it officially. And I knew that a while ago, but it's even in the game. WoW remix, Mists of Pandaria. So, if you don't know what this is, coming Thursday, global release for everybody, you're going to be able to level up in Mists of Pandaria, but with like special powers, special gems, special gear that gives you more power and stuff like that, special experience gains. It's not going to be a thing where you level up in 3 hours. It's still a leveling process, but it's meant to be more fun, less grindy feeling. And it's like their first attempt at this kind of thing. And it's kind of going to be almost like an end game retail experience, but for leveling, because you're also going to be gaining currency while you're doing this. These currencies can be used to buy rare rewards from Mists of Pandaria time. For example, like the Tusks of Manaroth I saw were on there. You're even going to you're going to be able to do the quests, the scenarios, the dungeons, I believe, the raids, I believe, are in there, and you actually need currencies from the raid if you want to buy a raid item and things like that. And you just get super powered up. You do tons of damage, tons of everything, tons of health, and you kind of just like slam stuff, but you kind of like experience it in the same way. It's just meant to make it feel less grindy, in my opinion, and kind of like try to make it fun and also allow you to go back and get old expansion rewards without having to spend as much time farming them. Now, this is going to be a really good event for me because I didn't play Mists of Pandaria. It's the only expansion I didn't play, and I'm not fully being honest there. I did play the very beginning of it, and I have some of the stuff from it. I grinded out all the reputations and then pretty much quit, basically. And, you know, yeah, so I didn't play for however many, a year and a half, whatever it was, 2 years. And I don't have a lot of the stuff from Mists of Pandaria. So for me, it's going to be an opportunity to get a lot of items. Now, if you've already farmed a lot of stuff, what could be good for you is you might only have a couple items left. And as long as those are available to purchase with the currency that you get from leveling, then you'll be able to target those items and be done with Mists of Pandaria. I don't expect myself to be able to necessarily get everything because these the stuff is not cheap. Like, you don't get these rewards just for, you know, participating. You know, you probably get enough currency for one just for participating, but you don't get to have all these rewards without grinding them out still, just hopefully in a more fun way. I think that's what they're going for here. The last thing I want to say about this event is with the name change to WoW Remix Mists of Pandaria, I do think that this sets up for them to do it again because that literally has a colon Mists of Pandaria as if they're going to do other expansions, WoW Remix Legion. What I would like to see is WoW Remix Vanilla, WoW Remix Burning Crusade. I don't really wouldn't care that much about Wrath of the Lich King for this, but it still probably would be cool. But Burning Crusade I think would be really cool because Burning Crusade was like a different version of the game than vanilla a little bit, but it still was really, really grindy. You still had to kill like 107 Hellboars in Hellfire Peninsula, and you had to slowly kill them, and if you pulled 2, you might die. So this is kind of like a retail way to visit the past expansions, do the content for them, get the rewards in a roundabout way with like this currency. It's kind of like an end game doing old expansions, right? So we have end game raids, end game Mythic Plus, end game dungeons, Mythic Plus raid, and endgame PvP. That's the other one. This is like endgame leveling, kind of, except for you're leveling and you're not at the endgame. But that's kind of what it is, right? It's like a cool take on it, and I hope it's successful because I do want to see what it's like in some other expansions. I like I said, I particularly, the way this is set up, I particularly would love to do this with Burning Crusade. That's just me. I would love to do WoW Remix Burning Crusade. I think that would be so fun. So yeah, that's going to be a blast. This event goes all the way till the pre-patch, basically, so you have all summer to do this. It is limited time, but the limited time is quite long, so you should have enough time, hopefully, to take part in this if you want to. The last thing I'm going to say is I did not have anything to do videos on this past week, unfortunately, that I considered worthy. I basically do this channel on like 3 tenets: Retribution Paladin stuff, secret finding stuff, and then like big WoW news. We didn't have any big WoW news, nothing Retribution Paladin related, and of course, there's never going to be anything really secret related. But even now, I wish I had the alpha because I could like come up with things to do secret related. But since I don't, it'd have to be like somebody finds a mysterious cave and maybe there'll be a secret in there. I would talk about that if that was found. But unfortunately, that kind of stuff, it usually isn't talked about too much in alpha, let alone beta, because stuff isn't really necessarily added if they're being careful at that time. Sometimes it is, though, and so that could be interesting to talk about as well. So unfortunately, nothing like that. At least this week, I can at the very least, give my opinion on the WoW Remix Mists of Pandaria. But yeah, hoping for more alpha news, and of course, always hoping that I actually get access, because that's where I would be spending my time at. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.